Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise. Thanks for joining me again. This reading is for Tracy. Hi Tracy, I always appreciate you. Anyway, she wants to know what Laura, Fox's Laura Ingram's, Ingraham? Ingraham. I don't know how to spell her last name. Ingraham's. What's her karma? Let's see what Laura Ingraham's whatever. What's her karma? I don't know why I can't say her last name. I don't care. But anyway, so basically, I guess she was on Fox News shaming men for having feelings about I think she was speaking particularly about Adam Kensinger, about having feelings when he was watching the testimony of the Capitol riots, the policemen that, it was heartbreaking watching that. They were painstakingly, explaining their experience, their firsthand, human experience of being attacked, and how they were afraid to die, they were going to die, and, the pain that they went through afterwards, and all the medical issues, and, PTSD, all of that. And so after all that testimony, she goes on the air and she puts them down. She puts not only the Capitol Police down, but she's also putting down Adam Kensinger and some other guys for having real feelings about their experience of listening to the testimony. So, this person has no heart. There's something severely wrong with her. So let's see what the cards have to say about that, because I don't know what it is and what causes that type of, well, I do know. I do know what causes numbness, or cruelty actually, is numbness. And you get that by not caring, by being apathetic. I'm sure the cards will come through and say that, but yeah, anyway, let's see what her karma is. Okay, let me get the camera dropped down. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the tarot, and I'm using this deck here, Radiant Wise Spirit by Lo Scarabeo. And I'm going to feel into Laura Ingraham. Ugh. Let's allow for reversals here. And let me see how to approach it the best way. Well, for sure, I want to know her karma. Let's look at her. Why not? Let's look at her past life karma, how well she's doing clearing it. Probably not. And then especially her karma that'll be, so I'll do past, and then her karma that's hanging over her, especially in relationship to her trying to shame, several men who were being actually real men and expressing their real feelings. Only real men cry, right? Only real men show their feelings. This other toxic masculinity, stiff upper lip, stoic, rigid, soul cramping, way of living is, that's not real. It's not authentic, and they're not in their integrity. It's toxic, and it needs to change. My goodness, people have been writing books about it for years. Remember, what's his name? John Bradshaw with Homecoming in the 80s. I remember reading a book called Knights Without Armor. My goodness, the information's been out there for so long. There's no excuse anymore. But no, she's going to try to make fun of real men with integrity. And it just shows you how developed she is. Or actually undeveloped, I should say. So Laura Ingraham, what is Ingraham, whatever. Ingraham, what is your karma? So I'm aligning with my guides, guardian angels, from the highest levels of love and light, which is also the truth. Okay, right there. So the forces in motion in Laura Ingraham's life. Yeah, she's just impulsive. Her biggest challenge, right? Okay. I'll have to draw the cards and then get them framed up. So 4 cards over here for her. So this will be her past life karma. The karma she brought into this lifetime, which, they'll all go together. It'll all flow together. And then what's hanging over her due to the Capitol riots, due to her comments. Ooh. And then 4 cards. Let's look at her professional. I don't really care about her personal, but whatever wants to come through. Her future. 4 cards here, over here for her future. Interesting. And this one right here. Okay. I might use some other fun decks. We'll see. Because I have them. Okay. They have some creepy decks for creepy people. Oh, I have way more room than I thought. Okay, so I forgot with this new tripod, now that I can do the grand tableaus and all that, it still brings everything up quite a little bit higher. Okay, so the challenge with this one is getting things lower when I want it. The Knight of Swords. I mean, just look at that, Like I always say, the guy is just impulsive. Even the horse is scared. He forgot to put his helmet down and he's charging into battle and he doesn't even have his sword, pointed in the right direction. He's just an idiot. And so is she. The Knight of Swords is all about, well, all the knights are movement, but especially with the swords, it's the movement of words and communication without thinking. It's the movement of being really assertive and like laser beam kind of sharp focus. The only time this card's good is when you want to get something done really fast, and it better be like, rescuing somebody or saving yourself from hurting yourself or grabbing a glass that's about to fall on somebody or grabbing a little kid that's about to step in broken glass or, things like that. Otherwise, this is usually something you regret. And so she's got this focus into, just darkness. She focuses into this place of not caring, and she says whatever she wants to say because she's obviously got negativity around her. 3 of Wands in the challenge position is like the 3 of Wands reversed. So I'll just leave it there like that. So that brings in, where's my chopstick here? 3 of Wands reversed brings in that that element of setbacks and not going anywhere. You put your things out into the world, and you hope everything comes back the way you want. That's not going to be happening with her. She's not going to get back what she wants out of this. This is not going to affect her favorably. So, past life karma. 10 of Wands reversed. That tells me that, wow, she's just a failure. She was completely stressed out, and I don't think she found any relief except for spouting off with the Page of Wands, just spouting off and saying whatever she wanted. And then this, I don't know how well that went for her, but in this lifetime, she decided, can you imagine, like sitting down at the council of all of your guides and guardian angels and focusing on your next incarnation, and it's like, okay, well, what do you really want to accomplish and what still needs to be worked on? Well, obviously, she really wanted to accomplish being recognized, being semi-famous. Well, she did it, so she's got that. But she's got karma around that. Because obviously this, this is very young, immature energy, but it's focused on going after what you want. And, a wand can also be a club where you like beat people over the head with stuff. And could be just her point of view. In combination here with this Ten of Wands reversed, I really feel like she was just a big failure. Just like I said, just a big failure. But maybe because of that, she said, okay, I'll work on whatever, but let me be seen and heard and all of that, right? Seen and heard and maybe understood. Well, okay, so she's got that. But now with this Hermit reversed, she's lonely and she's repeating past mistakes. She's lost her way and she's just nothing but a big deceiver. What's hanging over her because of the Capitol riots, because of her comments about the Capitol riots and mocking the police's testimony, she's going to be seen as a thief, somebody who steals the, well, it's, in this situation, actually, I think it's more about her lying. I don't know that it has to do with her actually. What she is stealing is the truth, but she's also deceiving. This is a betrayal. This is manipulation. And she's being really risky about it. And she's going to fall on her own swords. With this Four of Swords reversed, that's not good at all. Because it's called high anxiety. It's called greed. It's called stressed and burned out. And not being able to take care of herself. So I think she's probably not doing well with it. I think she has mental illness here. We have no cups. There are no cups here. She doesn't feel. She's numbed out and just in her head. And then it's like ignorance in action because she just spews her, I'll just use a I'll use a Joe Biden word and say malarkey. She just spews her malarkey. So in the future, what's coming down is justice. And with this King of Swords reversed, this is justice over her corruption and her manipulation and her lack of integrity, her cold-heartedness. So there's going to be justice about that. Whether or not we see it, this is, justice for her soul. And I would think it would have to do with her profession. With this Two of Wands reversed here, this tells her that or tells me that she's on her path. She has less options now than she did before. And right, everything's set back and it's ruined here. But here now it's because of this ruin. What comes forward in the future is even less options. This has to do with, things being just stuck. It's not going anywhere. There's no good progress coming here. And then with the Nine of Wands, You know, normally this would be a card of when it's straight up, like perseverance and hanging in there. You've got a strong defense. You're kind of beaten up, but you know, it's like the wounded warrior where you got to hang in there and hold your line. Well, when it's reversed, she's utterly, absolutely just exhausted. Exhausted, burned out, defensive. When this card comes through, it has to do with disasters. So she's literally ruined her career, I think. You know, as things come out over time. So, okay, let's use this other little fun deck that I have. It's called, I don't have the little book, and I put all my boxes away because I was having trouble, make sure this is straight up, having trouble fitting everything on my table here. So I just have to tell you, it's Alfie McPhee's, like, future cards. Alfie, like ALPHEE, McPhee, MCFEE, Alfie McPhee's, like fantastic future fortune cards, something like that. So let's see what's coming down the line for her in the future based on her misuse of words, misuse of communication. How's this going to go for her? Oh, I just heard 7 cards. Okay. So let's just see the story. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, barely fits. Here's our theme here. So this is her heart, what keeps her going, what pumps her body, you know, life force flowing through her body. And she's just full of lies and manipulation. She's just a nasty person. And again, this mental illness here. She does what she does for the money. And just, oh, here's, there we go. If it'll focus. Oh, it's not Alfie, it's Archie. Good thing I noticed this. Archie McPhee's deck. That's what this deck is. Okay. All right, so she makes good money, but she's mentally ill. And this illness is going to do in her heart because she really needs to open her mind and see the bigger picture. But she's stuck in this just power play of you know, getting off on having the attention. I think she's a little crazy there. But she's just going to be loyal to this, like, red hat MAGA baloney. I don't see that working well for her. Let's do another layer. Might as well, rather than bust out a smaller deck and have to change the camera angle here. Let's see. Maybe this will fit. Oh yeah. Okay. I'll just go ahead and drop another layer underneath, now that I know it fits. I should have known these are the same size as a tarot card. Duh. Sometimes I'm so slow. Okay, so what else? What about? Let's get the, because all this is going to control something else down here. So let's get her future here. What's coming down the line for this crazy woman? Ooh. Oh, wow. Past is going to bite her in the butt. and it's going to be really painful and shocking. Yeah, now that has to do with the actual attack, you know, the riot. And there she is. Okay, so the news is going to bring forth something that just breaks her wide open, and it might be, I don't know if is she part of this whole ridiculous, you know, August 13th, where Trump's going to take over. He's coming back and he's just going to take over, you know, like all that baloney. Or another attack. Is she part of this? I don't know. But the news is going to bring something through that just cracks everything open. I mean, look at this. It's so bad that the cat looking into the mirror just cracked the mirror. So, and this is her, this illness. This is gonna crack through. And the news is, the news will reveal what's been going on with her. Now this is also that there's something wrong with the foundation of like her life. Of course, she's mentally ill. But what we have going on here is also a problem for her home life, for her family. I don't know if she's married and has children. I don't know anything about the woman, and I've never watched her except for little clips here and there when you guys tell me, look at her or look at this. You know, I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch anything on the Fox channel. I made sure that I removed it from my like lineup in my dish, you know, thing. So anyway, the news will reveal what's wrong fundamentally with her, and there's also something that breaks open about her, maybe her family money, but then this card comes in and tells me that it has to do with something's going to come out in the past about her. This has to do with like skeletons in the closet and they come out. You know, they bubble up from underneath and they come out. Like ghosts from the past. And this illness card makes me wonder if there is something out there that does show her mental illness. Of course, greed is a form of mental illness, I think, but anyway, moving forward, what comes through about her is going to be really shocking, and it does have to do with the insurrection, and it could have to do with her reputation and being loyal to, you know, to Trump and all of these crazy people who will end up going down. I mean, I've done so many readings that they're in there, they're in my library. I've done readings on how the investigation will affect Trump. Also, that information is in those grand tableaus that I've done on him, how it affects their whole family. So she's part of this like crazy family, and she's just been kissing up to him, and it's all, you know, for the money. If I can get it to focus. See, there's an exchange of cash there. Big ugly fat cigar, you know. Mobbed up. Mobbed up under the Russian mobligarchs. And I got that from Lincoln's Bible. I love her. I so recommend her. She has a podcast called The World Beneath. And she interviews, there's 20 episodes, 10 of them are different interviews with like all kinds of amazing people. Craig Unger's one of them. She interviews her uncle, who was in the NSA for 35 years. And Greg Olear's in there in one of the interviews. But anyway, just really good job with the history of oligarchs of Russia and the mob, and all the families going way back. She goes back like over 100 years. But and then the lesson about Elizabeth Friedman, the code breaker, the female code breaker that never really got the accolades that she should have, because she was a woman in the early 1900s. But anyway, so I digress. But this reminds me of Russia, and this reminds me of her just kissing up to the Russian mob, whether she knows it or not. Because everything that Donald John Trump has done has to do with his loyalty to Putin, or we can call him Poopin, and how he's been in bed with the mob for at least 40 years. At least. Well, actually, we could say he's been in bed with the Russian mob, the mobligarchs, and loyal to the mobligarchs for the last 40 years, but he was actually born into the mob family, into the crime family, because of his father. His father was in with the Genovese family, and that was his territory, and he didn't branch out beyond it. But then Trump did. See, Fred Sr. stayed with, the Jersey, Brooklyn, that whole. He had a certain area that he could build in. But then Trump later on, and I think it was when he got involved with the Russian mafia. Because, he's gone to Russia many times since the 80s. Remember the beauty pageant, Remember, there are just so many things to read. Craig Unger's book, House of Trump, House of Putin, and you'll get so much information. But anyway, I'm starting to feel like she's just all caught up in this, and she might not know it. But Trump is he's been the biggest deceiver that she's fallen in love with and then gone crazy with it. And she just might not know what she's hooked herself into. But it's all going to come out sooner or later. It'll all be illuminated and revealed where her loyalties are. And everything's going to come out with Nancy Pelosi's commission. The investigation is going to reveal everything, or as much as possible, as to not give away any confidentiality. But we can be sure that Trump will be implicated, and anyone else who, like Jim Jordan, who talked to him, anyone else who was in communication with him that day and furthered and supported his cause, they're all going to be in there. All that's going to come out, and all those people are going to go down. So, I don't know if it'll ruin their careers for sure, but I don't see her career doing well. I don't even see Fox News' channel doing well later on in the future. I've read on them a couple times, and I don't see that going well. So anyway, I'm going to close this up and get this uploaded for you guys, and look forward to your comments. Okay, thanks so much. Take good care. Bye.